I want to welcome you to the first of the Gettysburg History Series videos that Sharon and I did together. The second group might be Confederate lines, Union lines. I'm not really sure yet, but this is about the National Cemetery. We visit Arthur Lengel's grave, also visit a number of the monuments, and just sort of talk about what this place means and how important it is. And just the respect that is due to those that are buried here.
So here we are at Gettysburg National Cemetery. J.L. Johnson. And you ask, who is J.L. Johnson? Well, J.L. Johnson was actually from Mississippi. He's one of 9 Confederate soldiers that's known to be buried in the National Cemetery here. National Cemetery would have only been Union soldiers, but there were mess-ups. Mississippi, Massachusetts, because this is the Massachusetts section. It makes sense, but he is one of the 9 that was actually killed here in the Battle of Gettysburg and is buried in the Massachusetts section. There's actually 4 in Pennsylvania, which is this right here. I don't have the names. I'll have to do that at some point, a video for you guys. 2 in Connecticut, 1 in Maryland, and 2 in Massachusetts for a total of 9. But they do say there's quite a few more in the unknown sections, plus there are a number of the cemeteries. And Sharon would have all the answers, right, Sharon?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of areas that there's guys still buried here on the Confederate lines. We're over on the Union side. But it was just sort of one of those things. Some of the guys, most of them got reinterred around 1871 to 1873. But there were areas that they're still finding to today where they find there's more burials, but they're just leaving them there. But they're unknown. It's just the reality of a cemetery, a battle this big. History is out there, my friends. So we were just over at Massachusetts and we found that Confederate soldier. There is another one in there. I believe this is Pennsylvania, and this is probably that or New York have the most amount of soldiers that are buried here. Both states suffered heavily. Yeah, 534 bodies. The only areas that are larger are the unknown soldier areas. But this is all Pennsylvania. Let's go over and look at the memorial. They actually have one of the officers for Pennsylvania, I believe, is on this. He was part of the really fancy looking uniformed guys. The Zouaves, I believe they're called. This is Major General, I believe that's General Chase H.T. Cullis. The 114th Regiment, Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry, and the Zouaves. They were the guys that wore like the fancy red hats and stuff like that. They sort of didn't make a whole lot of sense in battle because you were easily seeable, but that's what they did, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. But anyways, that's more history. So I believe this is the National Soldiers Monument, but there's also a bunch of stuff on there about Kentucky. This is the National Soldiers Monument, which I believe it is. This is actually where Abraham Lincoln would have made his address. You have these lower statues that are representative of different things, like, of course, the soldiers, the army. You'd have the other guy over there is probably industry. Probably one is education, possibly another religion, and then of course Lady Justice. Very, very cool. Here we have a cool sign, another one you can read. And this is the New York Monument. Stunning monument to their sacrifice here at Gettysburg in the National Cemetery. So here we are. This is the one of the statues, possibly 3, of Major General John F. Reynolds. He was from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He was the head of the 1st Corps, I believe, and he was only first major Corps general to make it here to the Battle of Gettysburg, and was killed pretty much within 15 minutes of arriving. Really was a sad situation, killed by a sniper. So here we are at the grave of my dad's best friend, Arthur H. Langle. He was a private in infantry. He was one of the first guys on the beaches. I believe it was Omaha. But he was not killed October 13th, 1944. He was actually killed June 6th, 1944. It's just one of those mistakes that happens. But he's buried here at Gettysburg National Cemetery. I remember we used to visit his grave all the time with my dad, and Sharon and I found it rather quickly, but this is my dad's best friend. It's the cost of war. History is out there, my friends.
So I'll be honest, I sort of thought I had filmed a little bit more in a national cemetery, but it really was an extraordinary visit. It's just walking on hallowed ground, and you can't help but just think about what these men all sacrificed and what it means. And just alone, my dad's best friend's sacrifice right there, and be able to visit that. But thank you as always for coming along, and we'll see you all about town.